1 hour I will complete this lecture. Okay, can you confirm, can you see my screen, the Excel sheet?
Yes, yes, sure.
Okay, okay. Now let me to start today's lecture. Okay, okay. So the data is given here. So the pool of cost drivers are given, and what is the total cost? Okay. Now keep in mind overheads. Overheads mean and the fixed cost. So the fixed cost is given 128,500.00. So what I can do, I can delete these zeros. So we don't need it. So I just write it like this. So it is
Okay.
easy for us to handle the figures because after decimal, there's nothing. So I just write it 20,000, 40,000, and so on. Okay. And the information regarding two products are given here, sunshine and rain. And the requirement is calculate the full cost of 1 unit of sunshine and the 1 unit of rain using activity-based costing. Now, under activity-based costing, there are 3 steps we need to do. Step 1 is we need to find out the total number of setups. Like this cost 128,500. This is the total fixed cost. We need to divide this fixed cost between these two products according to these cost centers or the cost drivers. So cost drivers are given here. Okay, so I can start here. So first product is sunshine and second is rain. So I need to calculate these number of setups first of all. Okay. So I will use the formulas. So if anything is not clear, you can ask me at any time.
Okay.
So first of all, the number of cost drivers, number of setups. Okay. Now, for sunshine, if you check the second table, information is given here. Number of setups per batch for sunshine 8 and how many batches we need to run 15. So the total number of setups should be, so to use the formula in Excel, we press equal sign. So is 8 setups for one batch multiply by how many batches we are running, 15. So I will get total number of setups. So the total number of setups 120.
Okay.
Okay. So 120 are the total number of setups. And for the other product, rain product, equal sign, number of setups per batch or 5, and how many batches we need to run, number of batches 7.5. So I will get 37.5 number of setups. So I can open one more column and I name it total. So the total is the sum of these two. So these are the total number of batches. Now in Excel, as I told you that I will use the formulas. So if you are not clear about any calculations, so what you need to do, let's suppose you don't know how I calculated 120. So you need to click in this cell, go to the formula tab and click trace precedent. It will make an arrow. So
Okay.
it will show you that this 120 is actually these two figures I used. Then you can check the formula. It is written B12 multiplied by B26. It means 8 multiplied by 15. B is the column number and 24 is the row number. So row number 24 and reference of this one is, you can see here said B12. So B12 multiply by B26. So if you leave it as it is, these arrows will be removed automatically. But if you want to remove it earlier, you just need to click here, remove arrows. Arrows will be removed.
Okay.
So number of setups are done now. Next, number of invoices. Number of invoices. Okay, for the Sunshine product, number of invoices are given in the question. Number of invoices per month, 50. So you can use equal sign and I select where 50 is written, number of invoices 50. So it will appear in my table, 50 invoices. And for the rain, it should be number of invoices per month, 650. So it's there, 650. So the total, just drag it, total will be calculated automatically. So 700 are the total invoices.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, next, number of movements. Number of movements. Okay. Number of movements are, if you check the table, it is given number of movements per batch are 2. And how many batches we are running? We are running 15 batches. 15 batches. So the total number of movements, 30. Same for the rain product. Number of movements per batch are 8, multiply by how many batches we are running, 7.5. So,
Okay.
so 60 are the total number of movements for the second product. So total is 90. Okay. Next, days spent in the warehouse. Days spent in warehouse. Okay. So this information is given in the second table. Days spent in the warehouse for the Sunshine 5, and for the rain product, days spent we have 17. So total we will get 22. So 5 plus 17, 22. Okay. Next, number of special pots. Special pots. So for Sunshine, number of special pots are 2 per unit. Okay. So we need 2 special pots to make 1 unit. Multiply by how many units we are producing in the month, 300. So we need 600 special pots for rain, also for Sunshine. And for the other product, it should be 8 are the special pots, multiply by 750 are the units. So the total is 6,000. So total 6,600. 6,600. Now the last one, direct labor hours. Direct labor hours. For Sunshine product, according to the table, we need 2 direct labor hours to make 1 unit. Multiply by how many units we are producing? 300. So the total 600 hours we need. For the second product, we need 5 direct labor hours to make 1 unit, multiply by units produced, 750. So the total 3,750. And the total direct labor hours of both products is the sum of these two. Okay. So this is the sum of these two figures, 4,350. So this table is done now. Okay. Any question about these calculations?
No, no, no. It's simple.
Okay. Now, the next I am going to do, I'm going to calculate the cost per activity for cost centers. For cost centers. Okay. This is the second step. Okay. Now, I need to calculate the cost per cost center. Okay. So first of all, setup cost. This is the first one. So setup cost. Cost. Okay. Okay, let me save this file as well. Okay, setup cost is, okay, first of all, the cost per setup. Okay, so total fixed cost is 128,500. Out of this total cost, how much fixed cost is relating with the setups? 20,000 divided by the cost driver is number of setups. So total number of setups we calculated 157.50. So this is the total number of setups. So the cost per setup I will get is 20,000 divided by 157.5. Okay, I round that figure to 2 decimal places. So it's 126.98 per setup. Per setup. Okay. Now, these figures are in currency. Okay, let me use, let's suppose the currency is euro. I can use the euro symbol. Insert euro. So, okay. So this figure is 126.98 euro per setup. So this is the cost for one setup. Now, next invoicing cost. Okay. Let me bring it a little bit down. Next, invoicing cost. Okay, so it's cost per invoice. So the total fixed cost relating with the invoice 40,000 and the cost driver was total number of invoices. So number of total invoices 700. So divided by 700. 700. So I will get the 40,000 divided by 700. So this is my cost per invoice. 157.14 euro per invoice. Per invoice. As I told you that if you later on, if you don't know how I calculated these figures, so you can click here, go to formula. It will show you this figure is from that table and this figure is from my calculation, 157.57. So remove the apps. Okay, so invoicing cost per invoice I calculated 57.14. Now next, handling cost. Handling costs. So handling cost per invoice. So I'm going to calculate the cost per invoice or handling cost per invoice. So the total fixed cost relating with the handling 16,000, and the cost center for 16,000 is number of movements. So divided by number of movements. Number of movements I calculated 90. So the cost per invoice is 16,000 divided by 90 is 177.78 per invoice. Okay, so this is my handling cost for one invoice. Okay, next is insurance cost. Okay. Okay, so for the time being, what I am going to do, I'm just going to hide this information so that we can see the table. Okay, so for the time being, I am going to hide this information. I will unhide it later on. Okay, so next is handling costs. So the handling cost is 16,000.
I think that will be the handling
We have
cost.
done, oh yes, it's,
Yeah.
sorry, it's insurance
No, no
cost.
problem.
Next is insurance. Yes, you are right. It's insurance cost. Insurance costs. Yes, so insurance cost. So insurance cost is 5,000, and the cost center is days spent in the warehouse. So I can say that this is the cost per day spent in warehouse. So is 5,000 divided by the days spent in the warehouse, 22. So divide by 22. So answer is 5,000 divided by 22. Okay. Now, I think the other figures we calculated are not in this column. Let me to unhide it, and yes, so it's here. Yes, so that figure I need so that I can use the same columns for these so that it should look good. So it should be in symmetry.
Yeah.
So I can move this figure. Yes. So per day spent in warehouse. Okay. So insurance cost is done now. Now there are two more: special parts cost and overheads. Special part costs. Special parts cost. So I need to check what is the cost driver. So the cost driver for special parts is number of special parts. So cost per special parts. Right here. Cost per special part. Okay. Now the total overheads relating with special part cost is 17,500. So divided by number of special parts we calculated. Total number of special parts we calculated 6,600. 17,000 divided by 6,600. So 2.65 euro per special part. Per special part. So this is the cost. And the last one, we have other overheads, and the cost center is direct labor hours. So other overheads, cost per direct labor hour. So other overheads, total cost 30,000 euro divided by total number of direct labor hours that we calculated. So we calculated 4,350 direct labor hours total. So this is the cost per direct labor hour. So €6.90 per direct labor hour. Okay. So this one is done. So I calculated the cost per activity, £6.90 per direct labor hour. Now just have a look at this second calculation. If anything is not clear, you can ask me, I can explain it to you.
Everything is clear. Thank you.
Okay, yes. Okay. Now the last one is this requirement. We need to calculate the full cost for 1 unit of sunshine and the 1 unit of rain product using activity based costing. So I can do this calculation. Unit cost calculations. Okay. Now there are two products, sunshine and rain. Okay. Copy it and I bring them here. Okay. Now let me to zoom in further. Okay. So first of all, production in units. Okay. So how many units of sunshine we need to make every month? It is given 300. And for the other product, rain, we need to produce 750 units. Okay. Now, I can draw a double line or a thick line under these two units because I am calculating the cost per unit. So some cost I will calculate in total. So I need to divide by 300 to get the per unit cost. So instead of going to that table, I will get that information directly from here. Okay. Now, first of all, direct material cost. Material cost. Okay. Now, all these calculations are per unit. So, say that is euro. per unit. Okay. Okay. Now, direct material cost to make 1 unit of sunshine, it is already given. Direct material cost €5, and for the rain product, it is €15. Is here, €15 direct material cost, 15. Okay. Now, next is direct labor cost. Direct labor cost. Now, to make 1 unit of sunshine, according to this table, we need 2 labor hours to make 1 unit. Multiply by what is the direct labor cost per hour? €15. So we need 2 hours to make 1 unit. Multiply by €15. I will get €30 is the cost to make 1 unit. Same for the other product. For the rain product, we need 5 direct labor hours. Multiply by what is the rate, wage rate? 30. So it's 150. So this is the direct labor cost. Okay. Now next, overheads. Overheads. Now overheads. So these are the overheads. 128,500. So I need to divide this overhead per unit between these two products. So I can copy this information. I can bring it here. Okay. Now I will go very slowly so that you can understand these calculations. Now the overhead cost. Okay, all these calculations are per unit. Now in this table, the setup cost I calculated 126.98 euro per setup. So the calculation is equal sign bracket start 126.98 euro is for one setup, multiply by how many setups of sunshine we need to run. So 120 setups are there. So bracket close. It will give me total setups divided by number of units, 300. So this is the per unit setup cost. So I can declare it as a number only. Okay, so 50.79 euro. This is the setup cost to make 1 unit. Okay, now I can show you this figure. It's actually the result of these three figures. So what I did, okay, let me open my calculator. So setup cost is 126.98. This is the setup cost for one setup. Multiply by number of setups for sunshine, 120. So this is the setup cost for one setup, multiply by 120. 120 equals, this is the total setup cost of sunshine. But here I am calculating the unit cost. So divided by how many units we are producing? 300. So divide by 300. And this is my setup cost for 1 unit, 50.79. So 50 euro, 50.79 euro per unit is the calculation. So first of all, I calculated the total setup cost divided by 300. So 126.98 multiplied by 120. It will give you the total setup cost divided by number of units. I got setup cost for 1 unit. Okay. Any question? Is it clear?
No.
Okay. Now, for the second product, the same working. 126.98 is the setup cost for one setup multiplied by how many setups we need to run. 37.5. So divided by number of units, 750. So I got 6.35. 6.35 is the setup cost for 1 unit of rain. Same with the sunshine. Cost per invoice 157.14 multiplied by how many invoices we need to issue for sunshine 50 divided by number of units 300. So this is the invoicing cost per unit. For the second product 57.14 multiplied by number of invoices for rain product 650 divided by 750 units. So 49.52. And for the handling cost per invoice. Okay. So the handling cost is, okay, let me check one thing. Handling cost, if you check the first table, handling cost, sorry, is number of movements. Handling cost is 16,000 and cost center is number of movements. So this figure is 90 were the number of movements. If you check, yes, number of movements. So this figure is 177.78 per movement. It's not per invoice. This is per movement. Per movement. Okay, that's right. So handling cost equal sign 177.78 multiplied by how many movements for sunshine we have? 30 divided by number of units 300. So it's 17.78. And for the other product, for the rain product, handling cost is this figure multiplied by number of movements. So number of movements are 60 divided by number of units 750. So it's 14.22. Okay. Now next, insurance cost. Okay. Now this time I will calculate per unit, but first of all I want to show you why I am dividing by 300 and 750. Okay, I want to show you that figure, then I will calculate per unit. Okay, insurance cost according to this table, insurance cost is 5,000 euro, and this 5,000 euro cost driver is days spent in the warehouse. That is the cost center. So I calculated for the insurance cost 227.27 euro per day spent in the warehouse. So now insurance cost, I can say that equal sign insurance cost 227.27 multiply by how many days we spent for the first product, days spent in the warehouse 5. Okay. So this is the insurance cost relating with the sunshine, and how much insurance cost is for the rain product 227.27 multiply by the days spent in the warehouse. Days spent in the warehouse for the rain product 17. So this is the cost relating with the rain. Now, if I add these two costs, you will see it is exactly 5,000. So it's 5,000 euro. So I divided that 5,000, this figure 5,000 between sunshine and rain product. So is here sunshine. This is the total insurance cost relating to the sunshine, and this is the total cost relating to rain product. But these calculations are per unit. So I need to divide this figure divided by how many units we are producing, 300. So this is per unit, and this is the total cost relating to rain divided by 750. So this is the per unit. Okay. This is per unit. 5.15. Okay, same with the special parts. So how much is the special part cost? 2.65 per special parts multiply by how many special parts we need for sunshine product, 600 parts, divided by number of units. So 5.30 is the special part cost per unit, and for the other product 2.65 multiply by how many special parts we need, 6,000 parts, divided by number of units, 750. It's 21.21 euro is the unit cost, and other overheads, the last figure. Other overheads are 6.90 multiplied by how many direct labor hours. Direct labor hours we have for the sunshine 600 divided by number of units produced, 300. So this is the overhead cost per unit, and for rain product 6.90 euro multiplied by direct labor hours. So direct labor hours for the rain product 3,750 bracket close divide by number of units, 750. So that is the other overheads per unit. So what is my total cost per unit? So this is the total cost per unit. Okay, now I can use AutoSum function and I can select these figures. So to make 1 unit of sunshine, the total cost is 135.98, and for the rain product is 295.94 euro per unit. So that is the total cost. So this was the requirement in your question. The requirement was calculate the full or total cost of 1 unit of sunshine and the 1 unit of rain product using activity-based costing. So this is the total cost to make 1 unit of sunshine, and this is the total cost to make 1 unit of rain product. So these are the 3 steps. First step, I calculated the total of the cost drivers, and then I calculated the cost per activity or per cost driver, and then unit cost calculations. Okay. Now you sent me another file.
Yes, I have one more.
Yes, I can show you. Is on desktop. Yes, this is the template. Okay, so we need to write down the total cost here and the total driver units and the driver rates and the per unit calculations. So I have already completed that one for you. So this is the cost. Okay, I can explain it to you. Okay, first of all, they were saying that, so the total cost in euro. Okay, so setup cost. Okay, these are the total cost. So I copied these costs here: 20,000, 40,000, 16,000, 5,000, 17,000, and 30,000. And now they're saying that what are the total driver units? So the total driver units means for the setup cost, this is the driver number of setups. So what are the total number of setups? Total number of setups we calculated here.
Okay.
So 157.50. Okay, I can put one more zero here. 157.50 is here. 157.50 for invoicing. The cost driver was number of invoices. So the total 700, number of movements 90, 22, 6,600, and okay, this figure is wrong. This figure should be 4,000. This figure should be 4,300. 350. Okay. Should be in the center. Yes, that's fine. So 4,350 are the total number of direct labor hours. So they were saying that what are the total driver units? So I wrote here the total driver units and what is the driver rate? So driver rate is this one that we calculated. So for setup, 126.98. For invoicing cost, 57.14. For handling cost, 177.78. And for insurance cost, 227.27. And for special parts, 2.65 and 6.90 is for other overheads. Okay. So is there. Now, in the second table, the question was, they were saying that calculate the full cost per unit of sunshine and rain. So these figures we calculated here per unit. Okay, so these are the figures. So to make 1 unit of sunshine is 5, 30, 50.79, 9.52, 17 handling cost is 17.78, 3.79, 5.30 special pot cost, and Other overheads 13.79. So the total 135.98 for the rain product. Okay. So because these figures are in decimal up to 2 places, so it is better to show it like this so that there should be a symmetry. Symmetry. 0.00, 0.00. Okay. So it's 6.35 is here. 6.35. This one. 49.52, 14.22, 5.15, 21.21, and 34.48. So the total is 295. But you need to show the calculations for sunshine per unit only. Only for sunshine, not for rain. Because if you show the sunshine per unit calculation, your rain calculation will be just like sunshine. So only this column is calculation of sunshine product per unit only. Direct labor cost was already given in the question. Is here direct labor cost 5. So 5 euro. Direct labor hours. Okay, it said 2 direct labor hours multiply by what is the rate? 15 euro. So 2 times 15, 30 euro total. Now this setup cost. This setup cost is, this is the calculation. So 126.98 euro is the setup cost for one setup. So it said 126.98 multiply by how many setups we have. So number of setups 120. So he said 126.98 multiply by 120 divided by number of units. How many units we are producing? 300. 300. So what you can do, just do it like this. Okay. So we need to multiply these two, divide by 300. 300. Same with the other. So we need to multiply by these two, divide by the number of units. Multiply by these two, multiply by these two. So he said. So for invoicing cost, you can check. For invoicing cost, I calculated 57.14 is the cost for one invoice. Multiply by how many invoices we need to issue for sunshine? 50. So is it 57.14 multiply by 50? It will give the total invoicing cost divided by number of units produced, 300. So this is per unit cost. Same with the handling. Handling cost is 177.78 per movement. So 177.78 multiply by how many movements for sunshine? 30. So multiply by 30, divide by units produced. Units produced 300 is given in the table. So divide by 300. So this is the answer for sunshine. Insurance cost. $227.27 per day spent in the warehouse. So it's 227.27 multiplied by how many days we spent for sunshine? 5. So multiply by 5, divide by number of units produced, 300. This is the unit cost. For special pots, 2.65 euro per special pot. So 2.65 multiply by how many special pots we need for sunshine? 600. So multiply by 600, divide by units produced, 300. So this is per unit. And other overheads, £6.90 is for one direct labor hour. So 6.90 multiply by how many direct labor hours we need for sunshine? 600 direct labor hours. So multiply by 6, divide by units produced. So 13.79. So in this table is 13.79. So it's 30. So if you add up these unit cost, total unit cost for 1 unit, 135.98. So in this column, you need to show only the calculation for sunshine product only, not for rain. So all these workings are for sunshine only. So for rain, I just copied these figures from this table, from Excel. These are the figures. So I copied here.
Okay.
Okay. So any other question? Okay,
No, I
let me
think
to
that
send. Okay. Okay.
everything is clear.
Okay. So you know that in activity-based costing, the difference is, okay, there are different costing methods companies use. Okay, I can just write it here for you. So there are different costing methods companies use to calculate the cost to make 1 unit. And those are, I can list some of them. Okay. Absorption costing, marginal costing, activity-based costing, base costing. Okay. This standard costing, job costing, process, batch, service, contract costing, there are different costing methods. So the difference in these costing methods is the treatment of indirect cost. Like here, in this example, so the total fixed cost, or sometimes we can say it indirect cost. This is actually your fixed cost, 128,500 pound. So 128,500 euros. Okay, so this is the total fixed cost. So how we need to divide this fixed cost according to the cost drivers. Cost drivers means the drivers that drive the cost. Okay, let's suppose in a call center, there are 100 employees are working, and for the cost center, the telephone bill is 10,000 pound. Now I need to find out what is the most appropriate cost driver. So 10,000 pound is the telephone bill. Do I need to divide the telephone bill according to the number of employees working in the call center, or according to the number of calls made by the staff? So which is the most appropriate driver? Number of calls made or the number of employees? Definitely it is number of calls made, because some employees may not be using the telephone. So the appropriate cost driver is number of calls made. So at this level, your tutor is giving you the cost drivers. But at advanced level, if you study the same topic at master level, cost drivers will not be provided to you. You need to find out these cost drivers by yourself. So this is the total cost, fixed cost, and this is the distribution of that fixed cost according to the activity-based costing. Okay, let me to check. Okay, so do you have a question where you need to show that why activity-based costing is different from other methods? Do you have a question like that? Or?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then just leave this one. Okay, let me delete this. Okay. So what I am going to, I'm going to send you this file now. Okay, let me to send it to you. Okay, I can send it through Spice. Okay, let me drag it here. Okay, so you can download it. Once you download it, just have a look. If you have any other question, you can ask me. So just have a look at this solution.
Okay.
If anything is not clear, just ask me. I can explain it to you because we still have 6 minutes. And open both files to make sure that you can open both files properly.
Yeah, sure. Okay, the Excel is here.
And this is your Word file.
Yes, I can do everything.
Okay, so you got both. Okay. So that's all. And Bengotis, can you leave the feedback as well for me?
Yes, yes, sure. I will leave a good feedback.
Okay, no problem.
The payment is going to be automatically or
Yes, at the end of this class, what Spire will do, they will deduct 1 hour payment. 1 hour
okay.
payment. Yes, 1 hour payment. Because this class is 1 hour. So still we have 5 minutes. So if you have any question, you can ask me. I can explain it to you.
Not really. I think that you covered everything.
Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem.
Um,
Okay, I have 2 other students because other than this one, I teach in 2 universities in UK. So I have 2 students. They both are from, but they are from Cyprus, and their
oh,
name is same as your name.
really?
Yes, Pengaitis. Yes, so both are
Where,
from Cyprus, and they have the same name.
where do you study at?
I am teaching at De Montfort University and University of Lincoln.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So today is the bank holiday in UK. That's why I delivered this lecture at this time. Otherwise, I would be teaching at this time to my students.
Okay.
Okay.
From
Okay.
UK.
Yes. Okay. 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 So thank you very much.
Thank
And
you very much for your time
okay.
and
Thank you very much. Thank you.
okay.
Bye. Bye.
See you.